So this whole week was full of firsts for me, and I got to hang a lot of tree stands while we were in South Dakota. And the first set, you know, we sat up there and it was kind of an observation sit. We just wanted to see what was in the area and see if we could get on some of those big bucks. And it really worked out. We saw one, but he was across the creek. So we actually ended up having to pull a boat out of the field, and we drug it all the way down to the river and pushed ourselves across with some sticks that we found on the bank because we didn't have paddles. And you know, I've never done that before, getting across a creek to hang new stands, and it was just amazing.
Well, we're back up in our stand this morning. We're across the creek on the right side today. We got about 30 minutes before that deer showed up yesterday, so we're gonna just settle in and see if we can get it done this morning. Perfect cold morning today. There's a couple pheasants around. a shot on a deer. I don't know, I hit him a little low. He looks like he's hurting pretty bad. Just a nice 8-pointer. Well, our plan worked pretty good this morning. We came across the creek and set a stand last night to try to get after this buck that we saw yesterday. And he came out in the exact same spot as he did yesterday. Grunted at him, walked right in 20 yards. But my shot was definitely low. Looked like it hit him back a little bit in the guts. But he looked like he was hurting pretty bad. We are gonna just take as much time as we think we need. We're gonna back out. We're gonna go eat some lunch. We're gonna give him 3 or 4 hours, and we're gonna come back in here. He should be bedded right there in that thicket. He never came out of there, so we should be okay. But we're just gonna do the smart thing, back out, and come back in later and try to recover this deer. Pretty nice South Dakota deer. As you can see, we're back at the motel. We're just going to review the footage from this morning. I got an arrow in a pretty nice buck, and it was kind of questionable shot from the tree. You never really can tell. But we came back to the motel room, and it looks like a pretty good hit. It's just a little bit low and a little bit back, but it's bleeding like crazy. I don't think we're going to have any problem finding it. Nice mature 8-pointer here in South Dakota. We're going to go back in here in a few minutes and go see if we can recover this deer. Nobody likes to shoot a deer and not recover it, and we put in an unbelievable effort to find this deer. It probably took 8 hours to find the deer, but we never gave up. We just kept following the blood trail, and we finally found the deer. I've tracked a lot of deer in my 30-something years of bow hunting, but this was by far the craziest tracking job I've ever had. We probably ended up trailing this deer for about 1.5 miles, finally found it and snuck up on it, and we thought it was expired and it wasn't going to get back up. Walked up to about 10 feet from this deer, and believe it or not, the deer jumps up and runs. I've been deer hunting for 35 years. I've killed deer all over the country. I've never seen anything like that. You're welcome. It was just crazy. I've never seen anything like it, but it's made for a great story. Well, we're standing in front of a South Dakota deer, and it was the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life trying to retrieve him. Unbelievable. He went through the water and over the hills, and we trailed him for 2 miles. Scott seen him laying there. We walked up on him. We thought he was dead. He was just flopping around. We all start high-fiving, and the deer jumps up and takes off and runs another mile. Guys, that's not the biggest deer I've ever killed, but I can promise you one thing. That's the most exciting deer kill I've ever seen. Well, we had a pretty eventful start to the morning today. Made not a perfect shot, hit him a little bit back, so we backed out and let him lay for about 4 hours. Came back in trying to trail him, and we tracked him for about, I don't know, 1.5 miles. Jumped him up. He swam across the creek and bedded back down, and believe it or not, we walked up to within 15 yards of him, thought he was never going to get back up again, standing there high-fiving and talking to each other. The deer gets up and jumps up and runs another 1/2 mile. We finally found him, and here he is. Crazy day in South Dakota. Tracy's still got a tag, so he's going to hunt the rest of the week, and hopefully we'll get another buck down.
This is our 3rd morning in South Dakota. The moon's getting pretty full. got into the stand this morning, and it's about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday, and we have not seen anything yet. I think it's 8:15. Pedro was driving over this morning. We were getting ready to get in the stand and said that the big one we saw yesterday was crossing the road to the north, going into the neighbors. It's a pretty busy highway, so I don't know if he's coming back today. Anyway, there's 2 more big ones in here. And with that full moon coming, I don't know, we might have some movement in the middle of the day here in this fence row. There's no telling. Actually, it's Pedro, but he's a mailman too. Told us that that monster buck crossed the highway in front of him and went to the neighbor's farm. We just got permission on the neighbor's farm, so he was standing out there 10 minutes ago, is what we heard, and so we might be hunting over there tomorrow. Just depends on what the trail cams show me. I feel a little bit better now.
I tagged out on Sunday, and Tracy still hasn't tagged out yet. We got permission to hunt a new little piece of property, and it's just a tiny little wood lot, but there's been a super nice mature 8-point buck in there every night. Me and Scott sat here last night and watched him chase does right down there in that corner. So we snuck in last night about 10 o'clock and hung a set right there in the corner, and you can actually see Tracy from here, and we're just going to sit here tonight and see if that deer comes out. There's already been 4 does and a little 6-point buck, and he was chasing them in circles. Tracy's got the wind perfect tonight. There's a cold front coming in. Everything is set up for him to kill this deer, and we're going to sit here and see if we can watch it unfold. Hopefully Scott can get some footage of Tracy shooting it from the truck. We'll see.
We both made a decision that it was just not safe to be in that tree with those kind of winds, so we climbed down, and we ended up easing on down this cedar patch and found this spot just to sit underneath the tree. And before you knew it, this deer just came running across the field. I looked at Tracy and said, "It's a buck."
Coming across the alfalfa to us. We decided to try to head him off, and I look out there and thought I saw the world's biggest doe. But in reality, the backdrop of the field was blocking his rack. Scott could see the rack. And he came into the cedars 25 yards in front of me. I was on my knees, made a shot, hit him in the shoulder. We shall see if we can fool these boneheads back at the room.
Hey, there's a buck.
You liar! You piece of crap.
We walk in and he's there. Well, for someplace I've never been, and you just walk into somebody's backyard wood lot and have to go kill something, I'll take them. Plus, he's big deer.
Big bodied deer. Good to be in it.
It was a awesome trip, freaking adventure hunt, and we have had a hell of a hunt. It's been exciting and it's just really cool. With Al's dream up here in South Dakota. Plus, I got to go pheasant hunting beforehand, which is awesome.
Wow, thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment down below, tell us what you think.